Hello, I'm going to answer the questions in regard to the Heroes Orchestra and how I feel about my first experiences with them. This actually goes back a very long time ago because when Maestro Alberski was a student at the university, he contacted me and told me he was a pupil and if I could share any of my music with him so he can play it on the accordion. And I told him that since I composed all the music myself on a computer and I played all the parts, I played all the flute parts, all the violin parts, all the timpanis, pretty much everything you hear, I played those parts on the keyboard. And so it wasn't necessary for me to notate the scores because I was the orchestra. The only time I really needed to notate things were for like a soloist, if I had a solo flute or a saxophone, and I would just notate that very quickly. We would do the recording session and then just throw away the music, even for the choirs. So what little music I actually did have to notate, it was very temporary because it was just to get through the recording session. So here's my morning latte, iced latte. And so unfortunately I wasn't able to help the maestro in that area of what he needed or what he wanted from Heroes soundtracks. So he asked me, he goes, well, do you mind if I go ahead and transcribe your music so that I can play it on the accordion? I was like, yeah, of course, yeah. He goes, and I have some friends who play other instruments, various string or flute or guitar, and he asked if it was okay if they played my music. So of course, like any composer, anybody who grows up and wants to be a composer or becomes a composer, the number one thing that what we want in our lives and what we appreciate the most is when somebody listens to our tunes or our melodies or our music, because that's a very difficult thing to like. Let's say one day somebody wakes up and they decide they want to be a composer. Great, so they learn how to write music. The next big thing is where are you going to find people to listen to your music? You can't like just grab them off the street. So it's like that is the $1 million question. Now that I'm a composer, how do I get people to listen to my music? So for me, like anytime anybody wants to play my music, I'm really happy and honored, and I'm really excited. I love to hear when people play my music in all genres. I like to hear some of my music. Sometimes people play it with heavy metal bands and it sounds amazing, or with instruments that were not even part of the original orchestration. So I love all that. That's super creative to me, and it's an honor, you know. So of course, when Maestro Alberski was asking me if he could play my music and then if he could have some of his friends join along, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. And then he would send me videos. Sometimes they were like a quintet or a quartet, or maybe sometimes there were 9 people, and then it slowly grew year by year to a larger and larger entity. And I was kind of blown away. But the first time I heard them play, they surprised me. I was in Warsaw. I was coming to Warsaw to perform at a film festival somewhere in Poland. So I flew into Warsaw for a day or a day and a half. And so my producer was driving me everywhere, and he goes, "Oh, would you like to go see the University of Chopin?" And I was really jet lagged, and it was raining that day, and I really was super tired. I didn't want to leave the hotel. I just wanted to kind of chill out. And so I was like, well, how long is it gonna take? He goes, oh, no, it'll be quick. We're just gonna go. We'll walk around so you can see what the university looks like. So, rainy day. He picks us up at the hotel, and we're driving through Warsaw, and it's just like gray and rainy and awful. And so we're walking through all the hallways, and I see all the young students everywhere, and it's like, wow, this is cool. This is the University of Chopin. The music, it was the music school part of the university. And so he goes, oh, what? Let's go into this room. So I go, are you sure? Because it was a doorway to a concert hall, and I was worried that some ensemble or some of the students were rehearsing. So anyway, I follow him, and this is Mateusz Pauluk, and so I follow him and his wife Marta, and there's like a orchestra on stage, and I'm like, oh gosh, we're barging in on a orchestra rehearsal. But as soon as I walked into the hall, they started playing one of my tunes from Heroes 3, and I was like, oh my god, it's so they were just playing the music right when I walked into the concert hall, and I was kind of speechless. It's kind of one of those things where when somebody proposes marriage to somebody and that person's in shock and they're doing it in front of like the whole restaurant or a party, that's kind of how I felt. I was like in shock, and I didn't even know what to say, and they were all on stage playing my music, and they did like a mini concert, and I was like, oh my god, this is so amazing. What's amazing is that they're playing my music, but I never gave them any notations. They figured all of this music out themselves, and they added choirs, and they added extra things that are not even in the original soundtrack, and it sounds glorious. So I was very starstruck and stunned, and then the maestro, he goes, can you come on stage and play along with us? And I was so embarrassed because I don't know if I could play with you guys, because yes, it's my music, but I actually at that point didn't play that music like live for concerts. It wasn't in my fingers. So I'm sitting down to play my music with this orchestra, and they all know it better than I do. So I'm doing my best to play the music along with them, and also because they change the music and they add things, I don't know those parts that they're adding, so I'm having to listen to the maestro and see where the orchestra is going and just play along with that. So it was an amazing experience. I love the Heroes Orchestra, and since then we have done many concerts together, and sometimes we do mammoth, like seriously mammoth concerts. Sometimes we'll do 2.5 hour concerts back to back on the same day with different repertoire. And because the maestro Alberski, he's like a genius conductor and orchestrator and arranger, and he makes my music even more epic, and he makes them longer, and he adds more parts to them, so it's really amazing. So when I do concerts with them, I actually have to learn my music all over again, but according to their versions of it. And these concerts are so mammoth that just getting through a rehearsal, like to play from the first note to the last note, can take hours. And so all of us are working really hard because sometimes we only get like one rehearsal for one piece. And I remember a couple of years ago, I was doing a concert with him, and I didn't know what song was next. So I asked him, I go, what are we playing next? And he goes, oh, we're playing Necropolis from Heroes 4. So I go, but we didn't even rehearse that. He goes, oh no, you played it last year, so it'll be fine. so okay. So my musicianship has to rise to its highest level during these events, because the repertoire is so vast, and so I love it. It really pushes me to my limits. So I love playing to them, probably more than playing with most orchestras that I've played with throughout the world. And because this one's personal, this is like a love letter, I feel. And as far as upcoming concerts, I wanted to come play these concerts in April, but I am playing concerts in Canada. I'm playing the Rachmaninoff Third Piano Concerto, so and some Chopin repertoire and some other things. So this month was gone for me because I had to kind of dedicate it to getting my Canadian concerts music ready. So, but we have plans for, hopefully, if all goes well, it's going to be my birthday in September, and so it is my dream to have my birthday celebrated with the Heroes Orchestra, and just do like a week's worth of concerts or whatever we can do. To me, that's way better than having a birthday party or going out to eat, or I would rather play my music with my friends on my birthday. So I think that hopefully we'll be able to do this in September. So, but outside of that, I look forward to playing with them and working with them for many, many years to come. I feel like we just sort of scratched the surface. This is going to be their eighth anniversary, and so I think what a great way to spend their 8th anniversary and my 60th birthday together and just go crazy. So I love the Heroes Orchestra. I love every member of them. They're all wonderful people. There's so many musical geniuses that are in the orchestra, and it's a society of musicians who everybody contributes. Some people who are the singers are also some of the orchestrators for some of the choral and operatic pieces. Some of them actually add more lyrics to the music than were originally in the original music, which is beautiful. And I just feel like it's a great platform for creativity, for kind of going down nostalgia of music that people liked when they were young kids playing Heroes. It's a great experience for me to relive my music and hear it evolve and change, and to play for people. I love to play for people right in front of them, because then afterwards I get to meet them. You know, when you have headphones on for years and years and years and you never get to meet the person who's on the receiving side of this music. I can be doing music all day long at the studio, but I don't really know who is going to be ultimately listening. So when I do the concerts, I actually meet the people who really do listen, and that is the best.